Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about General Milley's testimony and some dude in a shed and what connections General Milley may have to that dude in a shed. If you don't know, General Milley testified today about his phone call with his Chinese counterpart. Shortly after that testimony, I got this message. Hey, Bo, I just watched General Milley testify. It was like watching your video. He used every excuse you laid out for him. He even cited his oath in the exact same way. This leaves us with one of two options. The first is that you're not just a dude in a shed and that you get your talking points from D.C. The second is that General Milley gets his talking points from you. Sure, I mean, those are two options. I mean, they do exist as options. I'm not sure they're the only options, though. Admittedly, I still do have friends in D.C., precisely none of which would disclose the inner workings of a classified phone call between General Milley and his Chinese counterpart to me. That's not going to happen. We're not that close. Maybe there's a simpler option. Maybe General Milley was just doing his job. Maybe those phone calls are incredibly routine and have been ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis. They existed even before then, but they became very organized after that because de-escalation is important and calming nerves is important. I went back and I watched his testimony. I didn't watch it before I got this message because I knew what it was going to say. It's not that I have access to secretive information. It's that I don't sensationalize the normal. Perhaps the real issue is that the news outlet you favor, the one you choose to consume information from, has a profit model that requires it to turn the run-of-the-mill, everyday activities of somebody who is seen as political opposition into a scandal. That's the more likely scenario. That's much more likely than General Milley taking talking points from me. Anybody who has any understanding of the way militaries communicate would know that this was completely normal, that it made complete sense, and that it probably occurred because the Chinese were worried about President Trump's intentions, because he did seem a little off. And that it would be General Milley's responsibility to convey calm to them. The fact that your news outlet didn't tell you this is their failing, because they're not trying to inform, they're trying to get ratings. They are sensationalizing the run-of-the-mill, the normal. Calls like this between militaries probably occur on a weekly basis. I would say the U.S. engages in them probably on bi-weekly. Every other week there's a phone call like this. It's not abnormal. It's not a scandal. It's not a story. It's just functionaries doing what they do on a day-to-day basis. But they tried to turn it into a scandal. They got you worked up, and now the only options you can see, rather than hey, they just didn't tell me this because they wanted me scared, is that a moderate-sized YouTuber is taking talking points from D.C., or that General Milley is taking talking points from some dude in a shed. I think the scandal profit motivator is probably the more likely scenario. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.